Another type of loss that people will see in 2025 is marital loss. The fall of marriages, the abrupt end of marriages since 2018, where God showed me that people will literally just walk away from their situation. They will just feel as if they stay in the marriage, if they stay in the relationship, one day more, something in them is going to snap. And so they're going to give up on everything. And Yah was saying, people will lose their marriages in 2025. 20-year marriages and up 20, 25, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 38 years. 20-year marriages and up, hear the word of the Lord. You are not safe from the end of the road. You are not safe from the changing winds of the season. You are not safe from the departure of your partner. You are not safe from marital neglect and abandonment from both men and women. Both men and women will check out of their marriages without warning, leaving many things up in the air, which will equal being upended. So God is saying that people who are in love, long-term marriages, I'm not finished. He says, both men and women will check out of their marriages without warning, leaving many things up in the air, which will result in being upended, scattered, messed up, and in a state of limbo. Car payments, loan payments, credit card debt, school fees, rent, responsibility for savings accounts, mortgage payments, all of this will be abandoned at a moment's notice, and in some cases with many harsh penalties to pay. Shoulders will move out from under the yoke suddenly. Hands will come off the steering wheel, leaving the other partner shocked and unprepared to face life as a single parent, as a single payer of financial responsibilities, and sometimes as the sole representative of what used to be a double-yoked life. You will lose your insurance when your partner quits their job that provided group insurance for you or for the whole family. You will lose the house when your partner disappears and stops paying on the mortgage. You will lose your place at college or at that study program when your high-earning parent decides that they can't afford it with a divorce and they stop paying your school fees, your boarding fees, your nursing program fees. Financial abandonment will be high this year, and most people faced with this situation will face bankruptcy if they cannot deal with what Yah says will feel like a house crashing down around their ears suddenly with no warning. Short-term marriages, you will face the same challenges, but Yah says that you have better odds than the long-term marriages because the edges of the long-term marriages have become so frayed, so ragged, so worn through, and their members, the man and the woman in that long-term marriage, have become very tired. So what God is talking about here is just basically the breakdown of marriage. Breakdown of marriage in 2025, and he's saying that at highest risk, long-term marriages from 20 years upward, they're at the highest risk, Yah says, of crashing. He says that they're not safe from the end of the road, meaning people, you marry in the 80s, you marry in the early 90s, you marry in the 70s, and then you look at each other and you say it's for life. I couldn't imagine not wanting to be with this person. And some people have gone 47 years and they've kept that commitment. They've decided to choose love. They're not saying, oh, I don't feel in love, because mature people know that love is sometimes work, that you have to make certain commitments that are not moved by the variableness of feeling. Immature people go by their feeling. I like you today, I hate you tomorrow, and then when I hate you, we have vicious fights in which, because I or both of us have no self-control, we say things that can't be taken back, even by kisses when we're in a good season. We say bitter things because we want to harm each other, and we're not mature enough to fight in a way that deals with the issue and not making it personal to tear down the person that we also took vows to. And so long-term marriages, God says that you should be careful because you're not safe from being abandoned by a partner who had made promises that one person's heart is turning and they're not being transparent. You guys are not talking. Everybody's comfortable. Everybody's assuming that everybody else is locked in until death do us part. And then suddenly, Yah says, your life is being upended. Financial responsibilities are being abandoned. You're suddenly being hit with divorce papers from nowhere. You're suddenly finding out about a cheating scandal from nowhere. You're suddenly finding about an outside child and a second woman, 2 outside children, 3 outside families that don't know about each other. These men do have free time. And then all of a sudden, the Lord is saying that your life will be scattered, messed up in a state of limbo, and people will find themselves stuck with making car payments on their own. If you don't have enough to make the car payments on your own, when the other person of a double yoked life, what is a double yoked life? The husband is bearing his end of the yoke. The wife is bearing her end of the yoke. It's a covenant. The 2 oxen are pulling together. But then what happens when you marry a donkey? An ox and a donkey have different shoulder levels. When you put a yoke on them, the ox is bearing the brunt of the yoke because the donkey is down there and the yoke is slanted. And the majority of the yoke will cut into the shoulder of the ox, not the donkey. And so you find yourself stuck with car payments. You find yourself stuck with loan repayments, house mortgage payments, school fees, rent, credit card debt, all by yourself. But one thing you also have to know is that joint savings will probably be wiped because the one who checks out never wants to check out broke.